Nigeria, a nation sitting on some of the world's biggest oil reserves, yet for decades, its people have waited in line for fuel. A country that can grow its own food but spends billions importing it. It's a puzzle that has held the nation back for over half a century. But what if one person just decided to solve it? This is the story of how one man's industrial empire is trying to do what governments couldn't, make Nigeria self-sufficient. This is the Dangote effect. To get how big this story is, you first have to understand the problem. Economists call it the resource curse, but for everyday Nigerians, it's a lot simpler. Picture this: you own a farm with the best mangoes in the world. You sell them for cheap to a factory overseas. That factory turns them into expensive mango juice that you have to buy back at a ridiculous price. It makes no sense. And yet, for decades, that's exactly what Nigeria was doing with its most valuable resource, crude oil. As one of Africa's top oil producers, the country was burning through billions of dollars to import refined fuels like gasoline and diesel. This bizarre loop created constant fuel shortages, insane prices, and left the country stuck depending on foreign markets. The same story played out everywhere. Nigeria, with its vast farmland and farming culture, was spending a fortune on imported food. Agriculture, the job of a huge chunk of the population, was stuck in first gear. This wasn't just an economic problem, it was about national pride. Every dollar spent on imported fuel was a dollar not spent on hospitals, schools, or roads. The system made a few importers rich while killing local industry and leaving everyone else at the mercy of global prices. For generations, the question was the same: how can a country with so much rely so much on others? The answer, as it turns out, didn't come from the government. It came from one man. Aliko Dangote didn't start out as an industrial giant. Far from it. His story begins in 1978, not building things, but trading them. He imported stuff like sugar, salt, and cement, making a fortune from the very import-heavy system he would later tear down. But Dangote saw the writing on the wall. You can't just trade your way to the top, you have to build. So he made a huge bet that would define his legacy. He decided to stop importing and start producing. Right here in Nigeria. His first fight was over cement. For years, foreign cement was dumped into Nigeria, keeping prices high and local companies small. Dangote decided to change the game. He poured billions into building massive modern cement plants. This kicked off what people called the Cement Wars. Importers fought back hard, but Dangote was relentless. By making it locally, he controlled the quality, the supply, and most importantly, he could bring the price down. And he won. In just a few years, Dangote Cement turned Nigeria from a country that buys cement into one that sells it. It became the biggest company listed in West Africa, proving that a Nigerian company could not only compete, but win. Dangote had found his blueprint. Now, he was ready to take on the biggest paradox of all: oil. For years, it was just a crazy idea, a project so huge most people thought it was impossible. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery. It's the largest single-train refinery in the world, meaning it uses one massive integrated system to get the job done more efficiently. Designed to process 650,000 barrels of oil a day, the project cost an estimated $18 to $20 billion, an investment that's already shaking up global energy markets. Its goal is simple but revolutionary: to end Nigeria's absurd fuel importation habit for good, save the country billions, and turn it into an exporter of fuel. Projections show the refinery could give a major boost to Nigeria's GDP and create thousands of jobs. The refinery started pumping out product in early 2024, and though the road to full self-sufficiency is a gradual one, the shift has begun. OPEC and other observers have noted a significant drop in Nigeria's fuel import bill. The plant is already forcing a rethink of the $17 billion gasoline trade from Europe to Africa. While Dangote has pushed for more transactions in the local currency, the Naira, most crude supply deals are still structured in US dollars for now. Despite facing the usual technical hurdles of a mega project this size, the facility is steadily ramping up, aiming to close the loop from resource to final product. This isn't just a factory. It's a declaration of economic independence. The Dangote effect is what happens when this industrial strategy ripples out across the whole economy. The same thinking that tackled cement and fuel is now being aimed at agriculture. The Dangote fertilizer plant, one of the world's largest, is designed to produce 3 million metric tons a year. For farmers who have struggled with low crop yields, this is a revolution, aiming to make fertilizer cheap and accessible and turn Nigeria into a food basket for Africa. But you don't build an empire this big without making some enemies. As Dangote's power has grown, so have cries of monopoly. Critics argue that his success comes from government protection, like import bans that just happen to favor his industries. Dangote has consistently fired back, saying he's just taking risks others won't and that his goal is to build the nation, not crush competition. The controversies aren't just theoretical. In late September 2025, the refinery was hit by a major labor crisis. The oil workers' union, Pengasan, accused the company of union busting for dismissing hundreds of workers shortly after they had unionized. The union's president accused Dangote of undermining the economy, and the dispute led to a strike. Tensions flared, with the union accusing the company of running a state within a state. The conflict was only resolved after the government stepped in, brokering a deal where the company agreed to redeploy the sacked workers to other parts of the Dangote group. The incident was a sharp reminder of the complex, high-stakes world these mega-projects operate in. So has Aliko Dangote single-handedly saved Nigeria's economy? The answer is, of course, more complicated than that. He has absolutely transformed the country's industrial landscape, tackling its biggest problems head-on, creating jobs, and proving that made in Nigeria can be a world-class standard. From cement to fertilizer to fuel, his work represents a massive shift from buying to building. The Dangote effect, though, isn't just about one man. It's about a change in mindset, from dependency to self-reliance. But it also forces tough questions about corporate power, competition, and just how much influence one company should have in a nation's development. The final chapter is still being written. The long-term success of the refinery will be the ultimate test. But one thing is certain, a new path has been carved. The question now isn't just what Dangote will do next, but who will be brave enough to follow in his footsteps. The refinery is a game-changer, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. What happens when this same idea is applied to every other sector? Let me know in the comments. Do you think these massive private-led projects are the best solution for development in Africa? And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the forces shaping our world.